Great.
Start it off. I'm gonna start it off. Y'all gonna have to pick up that energy though.
Yeah, I know. I'm like
running around with them things all weekend. I'm gonna run around with them things. I got 7 minutes of energy in me. Then I'm passing it to y'all.
All right, fair enough.
All right, here we go. You ready?
All right, you're asking for it, so here it is. Listen to this.
I want you fucking laughing at we partners pod, kid. You understand? We in here drinking, singing, swinging, all that shit, dog. We sweating, getting wet, all that shit.
All right, welcome to the return, the resurgence, the renaissance, the re-entry to the market.
Return.
We just switched it up too, bro. Like, you know what I mean? We still Drinking Partners podcast. Well, we got all new surroundings. We are actually in Emerald City, downtown Pittsburgh, in the boardroom because we are somebody.
That's
Or
right.
it's how
I like that.
I know I am somebody. Is it we are somebodies?
Oh, okay.
We is.
We are somebody.
We is somebody. But if we and is, whatever it is. Hey, I am still half of your hosting tandem, Ed Bailey. I'm joined as always with my co-host, Dave Bracey. Say what up to the people.
What's good with you people? We are the Drinking Partners, and if you're looking for us, you can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Libsyn, Google Play.
We still Googleable.
And Spotify under Drinking Partners. You can find us on IG, Twitter, and Facebook at Partners Pod. Man, years we've been doing this. Many episodes, hundreds of episodes, literally. We've been doing this, and we've been asking you, and we will continue to ask you, please, hop on Facebook, hop on iTunes, rate and review. That's how we know what we're doing well. That's how we let others know that we're doing well. And that's how we continue to do well. So please, hop on iTunes, hop on Facebook, rate and review.
Listen, I know the surroundings have changed, but you know the one thing that will stay the same. In lieu of rates and reviews, all right? And I know y'all outside again because I be seeing y'all, all right? In lieu of rates and reviews, I still and they still accept shots of Hennessy, okay? We do that. Also,
I didn't
you know,
get that in the email. But
that's all right. And now with these swanky surroundings, we've actually edged it up a little bit, and we will take Glenlivet.
Yeah,
We'll do a little bit of that too. You know what I mean?
Come over with the scotch. Come through
come
with the
through.
scotch.
You know what I mean? We've been doing enough to where I feel like we've graduated to scotch. I'm excited. I know Dave's excited, man. We're here at New Surroundings. Wife, you got us in the spot at Emerald City, man. And we couldn't do it any different than to start off with family, right? Like I feel like we're doing a return.
Yeah.
We brought a guest back, but then we got a new face that's a familiar face on the podcast. And I'm happy to get into this, man. We have Jacquea and Byron Nash of NASH.V.ILL in the building. Say what up to the people.
What's up, everybody? How you doing?
Hi.
Welcome.
She got to do everything with a voice.
Yeah, that's true.
This is the voice side of the table.
Yeah, that is. It really is. I'm like, damn.
Because I had the voice side, and then we got some sort of, I mean, you got an actual defined talent. I'm just a dude like, he don't offend me too much. Hear him a lot, he don't offend me a lot.
I'm a super fan, man. I don't even know how many. I haven't been to many live music performances since the pandemic. And I'm pretty sure 90% have been y'all.
Well, they doing all
we
the
really
performances.
appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean,
We
Y'all
really
doing
are.
all the performances, right? Y'all like contracted with the city. Like
It feels like that, right? Currently, it kind of feels like that. If we
there's
fall
a
asleep
stage.
during this, that's why.
Like, listen, we're focused, we're determined to make sure we're able to share and be ourselves and have so much fun. I love working with this man. I love enjoying
Thanks, sis.
all the music and the different people that end up coming up to us and all the different mashups of music that we end up doing. I love it. I really do.
mashup. I like that because I want to ask how this came to be.
Well, you want to tell the story, brother?
I'll tell part of it. You can finish
Okay,
it.
all right, I
So
got you.
last year I was playing the arts festival, and then I got booked at Red Fish Bowl, and they're like, "Hey, can you play this gig?" I'm like, "I'm at Arts Fest." They're like, "We can't pay you the same." I was like, "I don't care about the pay. I'll come out." So they gave me like a little set, put me at the end, and when I was doing "Ain't No Sunshine," Jacquea, she's in the audience. I don't know this, right? And I hear this like big old gospel voice like tearing this song, and I'm like, I was up there singing on the shit. And I look over and like the spirit took over. Yeah, literally, like she got the church fan and she's doing all the shit. And I was like, well, you got to finish it now. And so she just starts finishing the song, and we just finished the song out together. And then I was like, oh, we should work together. But artists always say that, and nothing ever comes of it.
Yeah.
But
especially when
someone...
there's alcohol involved.
That too.
I've been working with every motherfucking buddy in the city.
We gonna work together, bro.
I'll
2
see.
years later.
Yeah, that's how it happened. And so someone filmed her and tagged her. And then I reached out to her, and she's like, I'm going away for a while. I'm like, seriously, I want to work together. Let's get on a song. Because I was kind of in this like artist growth spurt for myself.
That's right.
And then we played like a gig. The band played a gig, and I was like, hey, why don't you just come down on the last song? We never rehearsed. I was like, hey, I got this girl coming down. She's going to tear it up. They're like, when she rehearse? I'm like, she doesn't have to. It'll be good.
At the Overlook
just-
last summer. That's right.
I was like,
at the
it was the
Overlook.
last like
right in the middle
Overlook.
of downtown.
Yeah,
Great
it was the
venue.
last
I'm happy.
performance of it. So we were like closing it out and brought her down, and she just tore it up. And then I just kept inviting her here and there to like solo gigs and band gigs. I'm like, hey, why don't you just come on the last 20 minutes of my solo set, and then we'll split tips from there. And then we just kept doing that, and then before you know it, like
official.
literally like 2 months later, we were like headlining New Year's Eve.
Yep.
It was fast.
We ain't talented enough. It was no way I was just going to walk on the stage while he was telling jokes, like tagging his jokes.
That's kind of what happened too. I was
Listen.
like, all right, well.
And he put together the all-star team for first night. So myself, Byron, Evan Thorsten, Nate Slater, his son, Live from the City. Shout out to Live from the
just
City.
saw him earlier.
Right, see? Like, and Jimmy Jules, a rock star, on drums, Justin Brown on bass. It was just like, and then we all walked in with all black on and our own definition of it. We looked like we were stepping out the Matrix.
It was very urban Matrix.
Yeah.
It was just like,
It was
I feel
good
like
to
we
do
were
that in the city
like,
of Pittsburgh too.
oh,
You got to
man.
sometimes you got to throw that on them.
Yeah.
You got to just throw that black right in front of them. You got to just lay it in front of them.
Yeah.
We here. And it's good.
Yeah. No, that was, I mean, especially, and especially first night. I mean, it's you know, like, and that was like the blackest performance I had seen, I mean, on
man.
New Year's Eve. And
It was so
it was dope to
beautiful.
see all the pictures and things that came out of that. What's crazy, you know, for the listeners and whatnot, is that these two were on the like same stage or opposite stages of DigiFest
Right.
back in 2020. I mean,
That is.
I was kind of
And-
hoping that was going to be the origin story.
you know, that's what
I was
like,
kinda
y'all
waiting
love
for
each other, right? It's like, no,
Actually,
like,
we go back farther than that. Actually, I used to be, when I was like 21, I was a big fan of Byron Nash and Formula 412.
Okay.
It was like I got given tickets, and that was my first like adult concert as a 21-year-old. And I went to go see him at Ultra Bar and Formula 412.
Ultra Bar.
Damn.
Way
that's
back
dope.
when,
Yeah.
right?
That's
So,
dope.
and it was really different because I'm seeing him. He's black, he's weird, he's alternative, he's all these things. He's a rocker, and he was Nasty Nash. So I had him sign my CD. I still have it at the house.
Wait. Let's, because we had you on.
I'm like, I don't think they know any about this. I don't think they
We
know
had
anything
you
about
on,
this.
and that was never discussed.
That was Nasty Nash. back
Nasty
then.
Nash the Esco. Nasty Nash. So we know to ask about the iterations of Byron Nash now. I thought it was
Come on
always.
now. Come on.
I never knew. So is Byron? Is that your government?
Yeah.
You went from Nasty Nash back to the government. Okay.
No, it's Byron Nash. That's my real name. Nasty Nash happened when I was in the band because it was an all black hip hop band, and I brought the like rock edge and like sort of the dirty, slutty Motley Crue element that, and it was like. I remember they put a flyer out and I was posing with my guitar or whatever, and it said Nasty Nash. I'm like, yo, why you put that on a flyer, man? Like, my auntie might see that or something. And it stuck, and then everybody started calling me that, and then it was just what it was.
I ain't mad at it. I do like the blend. Like, so how would you describe your style?
Oh, soul, funk, blues, gospel, hip hop. Yeah.
anything that needs a voice.
Yeah, because I just
If there's lyrics,
Right.
she'll belt them.
well, I guess adding the soul to any
Yeah,
track
right.
is gonna
Yeah.
work, which I didn't realize because mixing it with the rock, I'm like, I didn't. But then when
Yeah.
you hear it, it's like, oh shit, it makes total sense.
Yeah, and that was crazy because I mean, like, so I watched both of your performances throughout that winter. Like, that was like the first time. So, like, through the pandemic, there wasn't a lot of live music, you know what I mean, going on and whatnot, and like your performances were recorded. So like, you know, over the wintertime, I was like watching both. Like, yeah, I mean, and it's crazy. Like when I first saw you on stage, I was super. It was at Trace, and like they were like, you know, I was like, oh shit, like they come out and like, and then when it happened, it just like you said, it clicked. I was like, holy, like, you know. But then like I saw y'all, and this is how you know they working. They went out to Beaver. You know what I mean? Like they was. I saw them out.
We were in Beaver.
I mean, I actually walked from my crib down to like, you know what I mean, and saw them and whatnot. And it was the funniest shit because like, you know, they're performing in front of like all old white folks, and it's all senior citizens.
I mean,
like I was the youngest motherfucker in there. I'm 40. You know
true.
what I mean?
That's very true.
I was the youngest dude in there. Yeah, I was the blackest dude in there.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I was one of
That's true,
two.
too.
You know what I mean? And like it, like you could see it. You watch the crowd, and like they're all like still as shit. Right, the top half of them is just there's not much sway going on. There ain't much head movement going on. Like you really couldn't understand, like see that they was enjoying it. But then you would look at their feet, and you would see a tap once in a while, like a little like I mean,
They
like
dance
a little,
with their feet.
Yeah, right. Just a
all
little
of this,
tap.
all of
You know,
this,
and it's
all of
wild to
this.
see like these like, you know, farmer looking muggers. Yeah, I mean, just kind of like real stiff up top, but then just a real quick toe tap. Yeah, I mean, with the Doc Martens or whatever they wearing or whatever. I mean, so you know, they was loving that shit.
They can't do too much with their arms because they got to be ready to unholster at a moment.
Oh my god!
At a moment's notice, they got to be able to tote that to me. You know what I mean? But it's crazy to hear that story because the range is there. Because you say they were out in Beaver. Now I saw, what was it, last weekend? They're in Wilkinsburg.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right at
Pittsburgh
the
train
Wilkinsburg
station.
place.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
That was
you can
3
go
shows
anywhere.
that day.
And y'all like and the range that y'all did, because I mean y'all had some R&B, you said, yeah, I mean, y'all had some rock or whatever, but y'all finished with this one song, like it was like a grunge, like sad, like needle in your arm type song, like oh yeah, I mean.
Ain't no. So that's when we like. I
No,
call it us freaking. Ain't no sunshine.
No,
About
it wasn't
Us.
Ain't No Sunshine. It was like this
Are you talking about Gold Dust Woman when we did that
I
Fleetwood
think
Mac?
that was
with Fleetwood Mac.
That's what it
Oh,
was.
I love
Fleetwood
that
Mac.
song.
You know what?
And like it was
That
wild
was a
'cause
slam
all-
dunk though.
All
Beaver,
the
they were
like
like,
all the white women was like they was in it. That was just like draws. Just
right
yeah,
here
I
is the
mean, like I didn't know what was going on.
Caitlin, laughing.
Right. I didn't know
Martha,
what was
get over
going
here,
on,
girl.
but it was like, and like I was like, what's going on? And everybody was just into that shit. And that's
Listen.
when y'all had them. That was
Yep.
the most movement. The most they was singing along and shit. It was like I was
my
like,
God.
oh shit,
That really
like,
was a turning
y'all
point,
know
too.
something. You know what I mean?
That was a turning point.
See, I mean, Byron put me on to Fleetwood Mac because I didn't grow up listening to a lot of, I would say, alternative music. I listened to a lot of black music. So when I got introduced to Fleetwood Mac, he's like, you know, we're going to sing this. We're going to do this song, but we're going to do it in our own special way, okay? Just work with me here. So we just kept working on it over and over again. It's just like from January to now. Now we just pulled that out and now it's just like it's a journey. It goes all the way up.
It's that
then
and
it's just-
the Fugees. Those are the two turning points. So we keep those in the pocket where like we'll have a set and I'll just keep reading the room. Then I'm like, hey, we're not going to do this one. Let's do that one.
Right.
Let's do this one right now. It's good. Trust me. She's like, okay. But you said we ain't going. I was like, let's do it. And then every time it's like, that was the one.
And
you know?
then I'll just start the song and then, you know, oh my gosh.
Because they don't know what it is at first because I bring it in like super psychedelic, like you're on 12 hits of acid, and they're like, what is, I feel like I know that sound. And then all of a sudden, and as soon as she does the first lyric, they're like, holy shit, she knows our song?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's over from there.
Yeah.
Because then she takes them to church.
Yeah, no, it was wild seeing like a bunch of middle-aged white people sing Lauryn Hill in Beaver. I was just like,
yeah,
yo,
that's
how
true.
do y'all know this shit? Like,
That's what it is.
Well,
Dave.
they ain't sell all them copies in Flatbush. Copies was going somewhere.
No, guys, here's the secret weapon. Because it's Roberta Flack, right? When did that song come out?
In 1960.
Oh, yeah, I guess it is a remake as
69,
well.
69, 68, maybe 70, the latest. So you have that whole generation that knows that song. That song was huge long before the Fugees.
That's
true. Yeah,
Then
that's
when
true.
the Fugees did it, it took it and rebranded
another
it
level.
to another level. So now you're dealing with like almost 40 years.
yeah.
So they not even singing the song you playing.
People come up there like, I love that Roberta Flack.
They
But they're
singing
like,
a whole
but,
nother song.
but then you
that is
got the
song.
people who like know it's like one time, 2 times. I'm just like,
But then the other
okay.
people are like, I love that Roberta Flack cover. So I'm like, oh, that means we can touch a wider range just
right.
by doing that one song.
Yeah. So I mean, what I really love, like, yeah, I mean, and I guess like, you know, the question is like, how do y'all you know, because y'all do a lot of it's almost like a jam band situation, right? Where like you're like, you know, either freaking the guitar, doing a thing, I mean, doing like a solo session, or you'll be like, vocalizing, doing something or whatever, and it's like completely off, but like you're kind of reading, react. Like how is that to? I mean, because it's dope. It's like I've never really seen a duet jam band type situation, right?
I think it's, well, one, our gigs are long as hell. So like every time we get booked, they're like, so what do you think about 3 hours? I'm like, I'm not Bruce Springsteen. Damn. Long as hell. If you went to see Justin Timberlake, he doesn't play 3 hours.
He plays actually
right?
2.
So locally,
maybe an hour and a half.
And that's what stage is moving. Right. So a lot of times when they book locals, they try to like get you cheaper but for longer. So when you don't have that much material, you have to create. So I use that creating on the spot as a way to get better faster. I think it would be the same as like with comedy. When you got to kind of think on your toes, same thing. Yep. She might lead it, I'm like, just keep going. Or like I might take it somewhere. So that way we're kind of still honing our skills, but we're still within the context of the song. And sometimes we'll record that shit like, that's a new song.
Right.
So we're like writing live, like on the spot. If you see us messing with anything, we're recording it so we don't forget it.
Right. And then improvising a song. So for example, we covered Come Together by the Beatles, but I heard something in the beginning of it that sounded like People Make the World Go Round by the Stylistics. And I know the words to both the songs. So I'm like, let me just sing the beginning of it. And he's like, he's still going. And then people catch on. Some people catch on to that. But then when he'll start singing Come Together, then people are singing that one. And then we keep going.
Wider net.
Right. And then it's a wider net. And before you know, we're going back in the song. People are stopping and they're walking by and listening to it like, oh my gosh, they're doing this song. That's rare. Like, yeah. Didn't you just sing People Make the World Go Round? I know.
So y'all singing 2 songs.
In the same song.
So y'all creating this is a whole new genre of music. What's the copyright on that?
I don't know yet. We got to figure that out.
What's the legalities on that? Because that's technically a new song.
Yeah.
I think you got to throw it up, just so that like the YouTube don't catch that shit.
Exactly. Yeah. That's
Or you got to speed it up. You got to play it at 1.5, right? And then YouTube can't. So now, what are rehearsals like for you all? Because I know you came in on the improv tip, and with both of your sounds, like Dave was alluding to, you can both improv, well, but like to create that synergy, that energy for you on stage, do you just sit and just improv with each other for an hour every couple days?
We don't really improv when we practice.
Okay.
So when New Year's Eve hit and it was like came down off this big high, I hit her up the next day. I'm like, hey, since you're in the band now, I was like,
we're gonna assume you're in it now.
Thank you for joining. But now that you're in the band, I said everyone's going to relax. I was like, I don't want to relax. I said, I'm tired. I need to relax. I'm like, we need to hit this so effing hard, right? So
strike by the irons. Huh?
Yeah. What do you think about rehearsing once a week with me, and then we do one with the band, and whatever gigs there are, it is. So we would just go over like cover songs actually, and just learn them like to a T. So I'm sitting there learning. I'm like, damn, this song's hard as hell. And she would sit there, and we would just like chip away at like, those harmonies aren't on, and just be really anal about it, like James Brown anal about it, just to get better as a duo. The band had a whole month off in January. She and I played probably 14 shows. Yep. We just kept hitting. So by the time we got back together, we were better. They were able to elevate. But we don't really practice the jam part until it's the band and we're like all playing and something happens. But like when we're working, we're working.
Yeah, and then also we're able to take the time and figure a lot of different things out. Like, for example, his voice is higher than mine. I have a deeper voice. And he'll be able to harmonize with me, and I'm like, okay, we can sing together. Okay, I'll be able to follow him, I'll be able to back him, and then he'll be able to back me. And it's a give and it's a take, but then also I'm able to learn from him and he's able to learn from me. So it's challenging, it's inspiring, and then we're like, oh, that's good, let's do that. And it's just like, it just opens it up for more things. Like, there's a whole book of songs that we have to learn still. We're still learning. So we still have the focus and determination we had back in January, if not more. I see him more than I see my family.
Oh, yeah. I see you more than I see my cats, and I live with them.
And they live with them.
I'm not a cat guy. Nobody wants to. I mean, you want to see the cats?
I mean, they're cool cats, but,
They are cool cats.
It's one of those things when a relationship ends, you either get the pets or the TV. I got the cats.
Are they cool or are they cool cats? Because the qualifier of cat lessens the expectation of cool.
I feel like when you say, I feel like they're the cats that was like, there was that cartoon where there was like the cats back in the day.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, and they were like,
they're like that.
Yeah, I mean, but of course,
cool.
Nasty Nash is a cat dude. You know what I mean? Like, he's always about the cats.
Touche, brother. Touche.
That was good. You see that?
Smooth operator over there.
That setup was good.
He was like, Damn, I wasn't ready for that. All right.
Stroking the fur. That's why he's. That's why he's a hit. That's why he's a hit with the beaver crowd.
Oh my God. Oh man.
You know what I'm saying?
Mic drop.
Right.
We getting back. First episode back. We getting
The return.
getting the rhythm back. But no, I mean, like, so I love like you do the one Seal cover. I saw you did the what's the one that you do? It's Seal. Like this.
It probably sounds like Seal.
Something like Rose or some shit.
Kiss
like
from a Rose?
Kiss on the Rose.
I've
yeah.
never done that song, but I want to.
No, I mean, I know
We
all
could.
the words.
That's the only Seal song that exists.
That's what I thought it was. Okay, maybe you didn't do
No,
that.
there another
that crazy-
Seal song?
there's that
and
crazy
he has
song.
more songs.
He
You're
got that
so
song
special.
crazy.
Right.
Though we did Seal though. I mean,
We did.
all the soccer moms will come
Like
out the
Seal
woodwork.
and
I can't
Kim
with
are
you.
the same person,
I
but
can't.
Kim got like skin product.
No. What? Anyway,
Same
I
dude,
can't.
right?
Kim can hit all 5 octaves. Seal cannot. Okay.
shit. Yeah.
Like Kim got his voice has like he can go all the way up there. Seal can't. But Seal is still good. I
I
mean,
feel like I only know one Kim song, and that was
mean,
one octave.
right there. Well, then you ain't
Think
really
about the
listening.
day
Like,
I met. Yo, I saw some. We went to an old head bar because
Oh,
that's
you
where
went-
I am in life. They was twerking to that.
Oh,
they was
yeah.
twerking
They was
it up.
I bet they were.
twerking to Kim. I was like, oh, this is a different. This is a different
They
energy
make sure you
here.
stretch before you crack your knees now.
I ain't never seen nothing like that. I was like, yo, let's get out of
Listen,
here.
you gotta go.
But it was what is it? It was like, oh, that she, you know.
Oh, that's his song. That's
Oh, that's an original.
Oh, that's
Those
an original.
shooting- Yeah, that's
Holy,
him.
yo, I just wow. That
being-
is
No, I will say this: it is in a Seal type of tone vocally, so that makes sense.
okay. Yeah, well,
Is that a
so
compliment though?
Yeah, that's
All
great.
right,
Yeah,
all right,
that's
all
great. That's
So,
awesome.
yeah, so I didn't realize the original, which is dope as shit. I've heard you play it before. I was like, that's one of my favorite or whatever.
No,
Then,
that's-
like I said,
that's
I
awesome.
like then I heard it. Like when I was at Beaver, I heard you like on the vocals with it, and I was like it just.
Oh, yeah, she
it's
elevates it.
like yeah, I mean, it's like crazy as shit.
Thank you.
But it fucks up my question because my question was originally
like, damn, that ain't
About
Seal.
gnarly
no,
girl.
but like the question, like because like I remember you had mentioned on stage, you were like you said something like along the lines of if you're gonna do a cover, do it as if the person is in the room
Yep.
with you.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean like the original
Yeah.
person that made it is in the room with you. Or don't do it at all type thing or whatever.
That's right.
So like, how do you approach that whenever? Yeah, I mean like, how do you when you're like approaching covers and whatnot? Like, how do you approach that in a way that you feel it's going to elevate it and not just, as like a filler or just, doing a thing?
So I've never been into cover bands. Like that's always just bothered me. Not that I do covers, so but there's a cover band thing and there's people who cover songs, and I've always liked when I can tell that person was putting their spirit into the song. So it's like a respect of the material. So if you flip it, you're flipping it because you respect that artist, but you're not going to try to do Aretha Franklin like Aretha Franklin. That's just embarrassing, right? Yeah. But you need to do it like. You don't need to be touching that song unless you're going to do it a certain way. So that's sort of the reason why we do those things that way. But I think part of it is so it always sounds like us.
Yeah.
So I feel connected to that material. So anything we cover, like we do Ain't No Sunshine, enough that there's Ain't No Sunshine, but really it's kind of like our song now. Gold,
yeah,
you know what I
it's
mean?
not-
like
yeah.
Gold Dust Woman, like
It's
it's
our
respect,
song.
but it's like it's our song.
It's
That's
our
how
song,
it feels to us,
It's us now. It's me.
That's
what you gonna say when they there?
Yeah.
It's me now.
That's me now.
I got that.
I mean,
got this next song.
Y'all Whitney
Houston.
Houston.
Right.
Whitney Houston did that to old girl, right?
Yeah.
I will always love you. What? No,
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
Dolly
that's-
Parton
that's a-
originally
that's a-
wrote
yeah,
that.
that's
yeah.
Whitney's
Dolly
song.
joint.
I mean, we can
Yeah,
keep going.
exactly.
I was about to
Same
say,
thing.
like, Otis Redding first originally made Respect, and then Aretha Franklin sung it, and then it took off. That's her highest
We
hit
don't
to
even
this
know
day.
Otis did that.
Right.
No,
Otis did it
yeah,
first.
nah,
That's
bro.
true.
Right?
Otis
You know what I'm
estate
saying?
mad.
And then that's what I'm just like.
Yeah.
And then so like when you cover songs like Rocksteady, Aretha Franklin herself is a vocal powerhouse. So if you're gonna cover it, you better cover it like she's right there and she wants to throw her shoe at you.
Are there
And
any
if not,
untouchables?
There's some. I'm like, I can't sing that. I can't do that,
Yeah.
But I wouldn't really want to do something I knew I couldn't do.
Right.
And even if I had to work at it, I'm not going to just pick something so far out of range that it's like, why'd you try that one? But I also remember that, like, in the music industry, most artists didn't get on from their own songs. They
That's very
always
true.
got on from a cover. So if you look at the 40s, 50s, and 60s, even earlier,
Yeah.
like Ella Fitzgerald wasn't putting out originals. She was
That's
doing
right.
classics. She was doing standards.
Yep.
Same thing with jazz, all of that. A lot of the bands that got on, like I got into Black Crowes because of Otis Redding's song. That was their first hit. It wasn't their song. Then the cover takes you into your original material. And that was something I learned from a mentor. He's like, man, you got to play more covers. Because we were just jamming my first band. We're like, we're so original. He's like, yeah, no one gives a shit. You need to play. He told me, he was like real harsh. He's like, you need to play covers. And then that's sort of the gateway drug to your material. And pick a song that's in kind of the same key so it makes sense when you go into it. I've never lost sight of that.
I mean, I love, like you said, like cover bands, not so much, but people who will cover a song or whatever, because it does kind of get you. It's like it kind of gives you a like a base.
Familiar, yeah.
It's a baseline of what it is, and then when you funk it up to the way you do it, then it's like, okay, so that's you. That kind of lets me know who you are as a sound and how you respect that or whatever. So I love that sound or whatever.
The classics gonna be classics. So if you make a fire song, if you make a fire song in 1960 and put 2020 elements on it now, it's gonna be a fire song.
Yeah.
And that's exactly how I feel. So it's like I rap, like one of the youth that I had that asked me actually recently, like, how did you cover like Rocksteady by Aretha? And I'm like, this was months in the making, a good year at least, of me just going home and practicing over and over and over again, because she's incredibly hard to sing. Or Stevie Wonder, like he first started actually covering Ray Charles songs and Nat King Cole songs.
That's very true.
When he first started. So it's just like just over and over, just practicing over. And then you have to have the confidence to know that whatever you do with this song, it's going to turn out well. Like, because when I first started doing Rocksteady and Superstition, I was so scared, and you could hear it when I was singing, and I'm just like, my elder was like, you're holding back. You have to keep doing it. You have to keep on being. You got to make those mistakes, get comfortable, get confident. So now I know it backwards, forwards, to the side, like all these different ways. And it doesn't matter how you do it. When I do it, I know I'm going to kill it. And that's all that really matters.
What's fun about that with her, too, is that it's almost like nobody else is there but us, and we're just hanging out.
Yep.
And I'll like freak something in the rhythm, or I'll slow it down. She's like, "Oh, that's how you feeling right now? Oh, that's what you're gonna do to me right now? I'm singing over that now." And I'm just like grinning at her because we're just in the zone. So I
It's
think
a universal language.
Yeah, and I think that energy like kind of brings the crowd in, because we are literally having that much fun.
Yep.
And there's so much happening in the moment that she doesn't even know what's coming next. I don't know what's coming next, even if I'm creating it, and then we react to it, and then they're like, did they just make that shit up?
Yep.
And so that kind of brings people in. So even if you're doing an original, it's a good way to elevate it, but also bring them closer to your artistry.
Yeah, the improvisation is a thing that I really enjoy about the shows. You know what I mean? Because like I've seen you multiple times in the short period of time that you have been working together, but every show has been different.
Oh yeah, they're literally never the same. I'm like, damn, what did we do that last time?
Right.
I don't remember. And then it's like totally different the next time.
Yeah.
I don't understand improvisation in y'all field. So like in comedy, because I do well with crowd work, but it's crowd work. I'm looking at him. He has that color shirt on. I said something in my joke. I go to that. He reacts. It's easy to pick out. I don't know how you can. First of all, since I can't play a guitar, maybe that's why, right? Because I'm like, how do you gotta be doing some shit and then go off schedule and come back to the shit, and then you just over there singing with the shit? Like, it just don't make sense.
Break it down. Just break it down. So if, of course, like for example, like you're thinking about, like, one of the things that I really love about performing with Byron is just like, it's nostalgia. It makes me think of so much beautiful music. So I'll just be like, okay, he's hearing this song. Okay, I'm going to go through the Rolodex of songs that I know and figure out what song goes with it. What does it go with the rhythm? Or like, where does it take me? Where do we want to go? So like sometimes he'll maybe go into a James Brown, and he goes in James Brown, funky. No, we need it soul power. And I'm like, okay, what other song will go along with this rhythm?
How he know you know James Brown?
Well,
that's what I'm trying to figure out. How he know you know,
right?
And you know he don't know.
Right. But
it's all been discovered on stage.
And that's exactly what I was about to say. So we'll do it on stage. So for example, I'm gonna do it. So we were at 1700 Penn Avenue. We were performing, myself, Jimmy Jules, Justin, and Byron, and he's doing a James Brown beat. Jimmy Jules is on the drums, and I'm just like, okay, all right, okay. I know some hip hop. I love hip hop.
She started rhyming one day, and we were like,
She started rapping.
"You got bars?" I was like, hold on.
Oh, don't get it twisted. She have Urban Academy in Larimer. She got to drop some bars.
Well, she does. Now it happens every show. So,
Right.
and the thing is, it's like we'll go into something where we solidify it down to a stripped down kind of hip hop groove, and we'll just tell her to go, and so she'll just think, all right, which one? And she just starts rhyming, and people are just like, wait, what? So
You sing and you rhyme. I'm like, yeah.
but she's got like rapper cadence. Like it's not like I'm doing a song I know. She can rap. So you need to start writing some raps, just saying.
So right. I mean, well, that's what I'm doing now. So yeah.
Are you dropping something for him or what?
No.
Well, wait, you ain't. See, he tried to put you on the spot.
I didn't bring a guitar. So.
Okay, let's put him on the hot seat. Name a time where one of y'all went into some shit that the other wasn't quite. I didn't quite know what he was doing over there.
like, all right,
how you deal with that?
You there by yourself now.
Wow. Right.
Yeah, no, because we ain't gonna sit here and act like from day one. We just was clicking.
I think a lot of that happened.
Yeah,
and
that happens very often. I think so.
I think it was the first 3 months of the year.
So how does that work? Like, what
You have to be
just
okay
then turn
sucking.
it to a solo.
Yeah.
No, we just fix it. Well, you have to trust your instincts. So I can tell if it's like, it's a sticking point, and I just take it back to where we're going to be kind of safe, But there's, we got video footage because I'm always documenting stuff. She's like, yeah, I listened to that one. Man, our harmonies were trash. I'm like, thank God they aren't now.
Right.
But we were, so all that was happening in the moment. And that, I think if you are brave enough to suck in front of people, you fix it way faster than just practicing in a room. You know what I mean? Like we could practice all day and it sound pretty good and it totally doesn't sound anything like rehearsal on stage. But if you're trying these new ideas live, you just get more comfortable with like, you make a mistake, all right, cool, let's keep moving.
You also probably don't suck as much as you think
Oh, no,
because
we
you're a
was-
talented guitar. Like, because I'll get off stage and people be like, man, it was a great set. And I'm like, I don't know, man. She was all right.
But it's always different for the audience and for the individuals who
Right.
are coming to see you compared to those who are actually doing it. Because when you're doing it, you're thinking of all the mistakes that you just made. I just had a young person who performed at Future Roots at YMCA Lighthouse and he was thinking about all the mistakes she made. I was like, but we wouldn't know because you sound amazing up there, my dear. So it's like you have to allow yourself to make the mistakes, and that's how you become great. When you allow yourself to make them and you're starting to figure out what works and what doesn't. Like, so when we do Gnarly Girl, when we do it as a duo, I love that it's stripped down. I don't even use a tambourine. He's singing, I'm complimenting his voice, and we're harmonizing. But there was a time when we didn't know what we were doing when it came to doing some of these songs.
It was just all over the place.
And we were just trying to figure it out. And now it's like we're more comfortable. And now the songs are just growing. We have more songs under our belt. We're like getting better. It's like following us everywhere we go. So it's like every time we do a new song, it's just like, okay, we can do this. We can do this.
I would also say it's volume, and I don't mean like sound decibel volume. It's the volume of how much we're playing. Like I'm at almost 50 gigs for the year. Last year, I broke a record for myself and played 100 from May to December, and I'm already 95 booked. So if you play 50 in 6 months, there's no way you're not going to get better. I don't care how bad you suck. You're going to get better. You know what I mean? And so it's sort of like just reps, putting those reps in. We're just doing that together. That's the only difference.
So as a vocalist and as a guitarist, how do you progress, like in your field, like in your relative, you know what I mean? And then who are some of the folks that you kind of like look to, you know what I mean? Like as kind of like the golden standard, right? You know what I mean? Like, cause I know they've been, you talk about like Beyonce's and Prince, the guitar, which like a lot of people for whatever reason don't understand how fucking dope Prince is as a goddamn guitarist.
I think it's because he was like,
His ass was out. Let's just say what it was. Say what it really was.
Yo, that's right. That's
you know what?
chaps, baby.
You can't do that unless you're so fucking dope.
Okay, and
You're
he's
like,
dope
and my
as
ass
hell.
is out.
Right. And then also add to the fact
Why?
that women and men were going crazy. Like alike. And you know what I mean? He was in a stage within his own. Like he was in
He
his
wasn't just one
own-
thing. So
Like, he was so many different
I think that's why
things.
his guitar playing, like from a guitar player perspective, gets overlooked. Like I had to put together a top 10 of my favorite guitar players real fast for Post Gazette, and I almost forgot Prince. And it was not because I almost forgot Prince. It was simply like Prince is like more than just a guitar player to me. So I think people kind of slip, when it comes to that with him. But I think, it's anyone who like plays with feel. I mean, I grew up on Rick James, right? Rick James, him and them hooker boots and seeing that crazy, like, I was like, what is this? And like the girl with her arm around the leg and I'm like, it's a wrap. And
I watched.
then my mom took me to a show when I was 7. I met him backstage.
Oh, shit.
I haven't been the same since.
I watched the
tell?
documentary on Rick James, and I did not realize how vital he was and how
huge.
I mean, he was
huge.
to just like the music industry and the progression of sound. I mean, like I didn't. I mean, I just like he's super freak,
Right.
Yeah. I mean,
funk.
But then you get back into it, like, his beginnings and then like the impact that he had. And then the fact that, he had that, I was like, holy shit, but I'm not a student of the game like that.
I mean, and it's about research. I mean, I think that's one of the things that I do with him, we do with each other. We're both fans of music. So we're constantly always listening to music that are inspiring us. And then also people that we look up to, like Stevie Wonder's with our favorites. Like, speaks 5 languages, like plays 12 instruments. Stevie, to this day, like he's old enough to be our grandfather, but he has over 50 years of just music.
Little Stevie the
Like, right. And started that when he was like 9. Like, I think even younger than that. So it's just those type of things are just inspiring. We look for that. Like, I love the fact that right now, I'm on my Jay Dilla right now. So it's a whole bunch of Jay Dilla. But at the same time, on the opposite side, I'm listening to like Bessie Smith, Diamond Teeth, Nancy, and all these old blues singers.
Nancy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like,
blues
I
name.
think the other thing that
Bessie,
people,
motherfucker. Did you? Bessie.
Yeah.
That name's extinct.
Yeah, that is.
That name does
You don't
not
hear
exist
Bessie.
no more.
You don't hear Bessie.
No Bessies popping out.
Esther.
Waters, Mahalia
Bessie.
Jackson.
That shit is
Hold
gone.
on, I listened to Mahalia Jackson this morning.
Mahalia.
Mahalia Jackson.
Where's a church fan, right?
I got one in my bag.
Little fun,
I know you do.
fun drinking partners fact. We're talking about Prince. The headliners for last year's Barrel and Flow, their bass player Mono is the last bass
He's the
player
last
to
bass
ever
player
work
to play with Prince. I'm a
Yeah.
huge
Oh,
Mono
my
fan.
goodness.
Me too.
I think another thing,
Buzzy's here.
thank you for triggering that. To answer your question, just because I play guitar, I actually get influence from other people too. So like Coltrane, that'll influence my guitar playing more than like maybe people think just a guitar player would, right? There was a period where I was just ass on guitar, and I was just trying to break out of my sort of like thrash metal thing way back in the early 90s, and I only listened to like female artists. I was listening to like Sade, Tori Amos, Bjork, and I was trying to figure out how to play their vocals because I didn't know how to play solos. I loved shit, but I couldn't play it. And then that's how I strung it together, because I remember I listened to a B.B. King record, and he hit like 2 notes, and I was like, where the fuck are those notes at?
Right.
Like I just couldn't find them, and I was like frustrated because I like knew so much other stuff, and I was like, he's like, I'm like, I don't really know what that is, right?
Guitar top.
So then, if you start listening, the best way to get better is to listen to not your instrument. Like I do, but guitar is not the first thing I hear unless it's like really some crushing guitar. I'm like, oh damn, that's crazy. But usually it's drums and bass, and then I'll like really hone in on that, and then that kind of strengthens my rhythm, and then I think about different ways to play guitar against that, and I get influenced by other instruments that aren't my own. That usually makes me get better faster.
Expanding your boundaries. That's all I'm hearing here. Like even you guys, even in talking about who influences you, we've been all over the spectrum with all of this. Like y'all named about 13,000 people I've never heard of.
I mean, we keep going.
I'm like,
Oh yeah,
I should have brought out the Shazam so I could get some of this.
I mean, there's so
Dead
many
ass.
others like
You don't wanna see my house.
Soundgarden, The Black Crowes, System of a Down, Linkin Park, Evanescence,
System
All
of a
American.
Down, man.
Oh my
That was
goodness!
man, that's a
So,
cultural shift right
I'm
there.
saying,
man.
so
we're
I'm
actually
like,
working on the cover of it because I'm like, it's going to
yes,
destroy
'cause
people
have
if we
to
do this really
Rage
well.
Against the Machine.
Let's just make it really black, so they're really confused.
I gotta ask, but I have to ask. So one thing, so I'm looking at y'all, and y'all black. You know what I mean? And y'all,
There it go,
and
come
I'm hearing all this different musical influence, and like we don't be hearing that shit growing up.
Yeah.
Like when I'm growing up in East Cleveland, like it's you listening to rap and R&B, and like even so I'm a '80s baby, so in the '90s, like you couldn't really be doing too much R&B.
Nah.
Like I was listening to R&B like on the low. You know what I'm saying? I was loving R&B,
let me make
but
you
you couldn't
make
be.
love come
You wasn't
down.
sitting at
Right.
lunch. You wasn't sitting at lunch. I'm close your eyes. Like you wasn't on the way to the game
No.
listening to Jagged
Nah, you
Edge.
was talking about shaking it fast.
Yeah, Mary J was only in the bedroom. Right. Yeah, I mean, Mary J did not.
So, and I know Quay, you do some educating, and so how do we get this to the youths? Like, how do we get folks to expand? Because now you get the backstories. You get a Rick James documentary. You learn about, Mahalia Jackson. You learn about all this shit. And not only just musically are you opened up, but just history. Like, you just learn about more regions, more walks of life and shit like that.
Right.
Like, how do we get them to listen to this music? Because like my grandmother used to listen to Down Home Blues, and that was just her thing though. We just knew that she played Down Home Blues. I never explored blues after that. It was just like Down Home Blues, like that was her shit. That was her
Down
shit.
Home Blues. Like,
that was.
I love it.
That
man.
was a dope song.
I mean, but I think it's also because I was blessed that I was raised in a church, so that's how I learned how to sing. I didn't go to school for singing. I learned in a church. My late grandfather was a pastor. My mother was a singer in the church. She led the choir. We were a church family, so that's how I learned how to sing. But when I became 12, 13 years old, my father did not allow me to start listening to hip hop anymore. He was just like, you have to take a break from it, because it was too explicit, as he would say. So I would be looking for music. Right. So we started listening to rock music. So we're listening to Incubus, Rage Against the Machine, Daft Punk, and the list goes on. So, wherever tomorrow brings, I'll be there. Yeah, you know what I mean? So that's Incubus.
I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is.
See? So, and that's what we mean.
Everybody was moving. I'm
right,
like,
I
didn't make it to Cleveland.
Right. But then, I didn't have, we didn't have all the best amount of money, so we would watch it on the box, Channel 69.
Ooh, the box.
The box. So
that was
you had
the
to call
non-cable
in.
music station.
You had to call in to get your music video played, and that was the way we learned about it. Then it was the library. That's how I learned about music, and I just started asking more questions. So as time went on, as a young person, I would just ask more questions and rent out CDs and VHS cassettes and watch all the live as much as I possibly can, because I wanted to just immerse myself into what it meant to be a fan of music, not just a vocalist, but a really, really fan. I'm still a fan. I love music. I'm still studying now, and I think I will forever do so. So I think when it comes to the youth, it's giving the opportunity to be exposed. Like, my niece is 16. We talk about all different types of music. So she loves Big Crit. She's such a big hip hop fan. But at this other time, she enjoys jazz. She loves Sarah Vaughan. I didn't expect that. She's 16. I'm just like, here you go. Just track it out. Listen to it once. If you really like it, let's keep listening to it. Then I have a subscription with Tidal. So I allow the family to do it. So now she's listening to Ray Charles. She's listening to whatever floats her boat. And then she'll come back to the music she loves. And it's being able to expose them, to allow them to find whatever they're feeling, they can find it in music. And it doesn't have to be in one genre. But it can be whatever music they feel, but allow them to learn and figure it out. So they can come back and be like, okay, I got this.
Share your passwords.
Right?
Yeah, I don't know about all that now.
I think the
The
other
family
part,
shouldn't have 4 Tidal subscriptions.
it's titles.
Right. You got to get the family package then.
I think part of it too, because I'm older. There's a conservative element to Black folks, even though like culture will steal our shit because we're ahead, but we're still kind of like closed, right? So when I was coming up, like it was Black is Black, like it was like African Medallions. I really loved metal, like loved it. I was fighting for my life to love it, like I was getting jumped in alleys, I was skateboarding home, and that was in Baltimore. So it was like it wasn't even Baltimore, it was like Baltimore. It was like The Wire.
Baltimore.
And I didn't like budge from it. I was like, fuck you, I'm listening to Exodus, I'm listening to Slayer. That's what I loved, right? But they don't know that I loved LL Cool J and Run DMC too, but that was sort of the gateway drug because LL Cool J and Slayer, they're on the same fucking label. Yep. If you knew your shit, you wouldn't be giving me any fucking grief right now, but you don't know your shit.
That's right.
And this is why you're a dick, right? And so I just kind of took a break from Black culture because they place.
I'm sorry, I didn't want to laugh. But to whoever jumped him in that alley, fuck you.
Right.
Like it was really, it was nasty, right? And so you felt like you couldn't like something outside of Black culture,
right?
And there was a pressure. It was like, oh yeah, you like that shit? No, I don't like that shit. No, I'm good. I was like, yeah, I do. And I just kept leaning into it, and I paid the price for it. But then that's exactly why I'm able to do the things that I do now, because I never bent from that. I wouldn't be able to connect with Helltown if I didn't understand metal. It wouldn't even make sense.
Right.
You know what I mean? But metal is black as black can be. It doesn't seem, there's sort of this overbearing white culture part, but if you think about where it came from, it's like, oh, it comes from blues. So my mom got me into Black Sabbath. That's all blues riffs, distorted, tuned down. But if you don't know your shit and you're afraid your friends are going to kick your ass, you're not going to try new shit. And you're like, oh, I really like the song, but I ain't going to let them know. So I think that's the hard part. Now it's a little easier to be like who you are because of the internet and stuff. But when I was coming up, it was like, and I still leaned into it, but I was thirsty for it. And you didn't have the option. Like you had to want to get into the artist that you liked. You know what I mean? You had to walk to the record store.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, and that's by design, right? I mean, because there's only two original forms of American music. It's blues and country. And then you look at all of the music that comes from America. It's all rock and roll, hip hop. I mean, metal, all that.
Well,
that's
jazz,
blues.
though.
Jazz is blues.
That's one of the originals.
No, I'd say jazz.
Well, jazz is blues, right? You know what I mean, like a form of
it's an extension of it.
It's an extension. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's an extension of blues and all that. You know what I mean, so like you have country and you got blues and all, jazz, rock, hip hop, all of that, right? And then when you're looking at like record labels, if it was black people making it, you know what I mean, it was R&B.
Yeah.
But if it was white people making it, then it was whatever else.
There was
you
a
know what I
black
mean?
music section. I don't know if people are old enough to know that you went to the music store and it didn't say, there wasn't a white music section, but there was a black music section.
It's
And
on
you had
the
that-
store.
There's black radio station, like in the back of Jet magazine.
That's right.
Top black radio.
Yep.
That's just how it was. So we were kind of programmed to think this is what black music is. Anything outside of this sound,
And that's
you're
that's
kind
the
of like
definition, right.
you're not being true to us.
Right.
Yeah,
So there's like a
MTV
pressure. you
Yeah,
know?
MTV wouldn't play black music. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Despite
yeah.
this, you know, rock and roll, you know what I mean? You had, you know, Little Richard and all these other folks like that were playing the same rock, but they wouldn't play, you know what I mean? But they play Elvis, things of that nature, whatever. So I mean, it's by design. A lot of times we look at like society and where we are and we go, well, you know, like a lot of it is by design. Somebody up with the money is segregating this purposely,
Agreed.
so that we are separated. I mean, redlining and things of that nature. They're keeping us apart so that you are getting in those situations where you don't feel comfortable listening outside of what is supposed to be your music.
Yeah. Keeps you thinking a certain way.
Because what you just said, it just takes me to a place. Why do they not? Like, why doesn't country music get banned anywhere? Did you hear what these motherfuckers be talking about? Yo, they be saying some wild shit.
I was about to say, listen.
They be talking about some wild
was
shit. Like, they be talking about underage fucking, drinking, smoking, sneaky links, knocking boots. Remember, I thought that came from H-Town.
Incest.
That's a country term.
Yeah.
Nah,
There's a whole ass country song about knocking boots.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh,
That's
fuck.
why, like, when you said your dad was like, well, you got to cut off like hip hop or whatever. Like, I'm like, well, rock and roll ain't no better. Like, rock and roll
Listen,
beat,
but he
you know
doesn't
what I mean?
know. But again,
You know,
we
pour
don't
some
know.
sugar on me and shit.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Rock and roll is dirty as hell.
You know,
Sugar on
right?
me.
You know what I mean?
We were just talking about this song.
Like, yo, they
Harry,
God.
that's what that is?
listen,
Yeah.
man,
Stroke me.
right? Yo, like, you know what I mean?
Here's what's crazy.
Like, they be talking about like little, you know, what's the I was just listening to, it was young girl, get out of my mind. I'm like, yo, you
That's
listen
what
to that
I
song.
was talking about that song.
I'm like, yo, that's
the song I was talking
It's
about.
the most rapiest. I
They
remember.
be saying some wild shit.
Like,
Here's the other thing. Y'all got to remember, there was a
What?
time where there wasn't the internet and people didn't freak out about the things. And I listened to like some older, I'm like, ooh,
yeah,
that's what that meant? Oh, shit. That's,
Yeah,
ooh, I
like-
feel dirty.
Yo, and it's the white dudes crooning that shit. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
but like so. But what's crazy? So like,
Damn, that poured some sugar on me.
yeah,
Fuck me
man.
up.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's one of them songs that I hear and I be singing it, but I'm not singing it.
yeah.
I'm just making a sound. I be,
Oh, yeah. It's everything you're thinking right now in slow motion.
fuck me up.
But and that's why like the weekend. That's why the weekend is so wild because the weekend be saying some wild shit,
Oh, my
but he say it in
goodness.
falsetto, so all the ladies love it. Yeah,
Oh, my goodness.
all the ladies love that shit. It's like, do you know what he's saying?
Did you hear what he just
Right?
said?
He like they'll
Like-
talk about. I don't listen to hip hop. It's too misogynistic.
I'm
And
just
then
like-
you know what I mean,
I'm like,
the weekend they'll just.
I'm like, are you serious?
Yeah.
Have you heard? Have you like?
yo?
Like we can keep going. Like that's so funny. I love doing this. I call this old head lesson. So I'll put on an old head album, right? And then I'll have my father listen to it. I'm like, you know what they're talking about in the song? Like he's like, no. I'm like, okay. Well, Marvin Gaye's talking about Soon I'll Be Loving You Again. At the end of the song, he says, going to give you some head. He literally says, although I've never gave head before, but there's always a first time. So I've made up my mind. I'm going to be loving you again. And then he keeps saying it over and over again. Going to give you some head. He says it on the song. And he's just like, my father's just like,
right.
yeah, I know. Okay, so I don't want to hear you ever say that hip hop is just nasty. They don't ever. I'm like, so just don't forget where we get it from.
And that
right?
Rick James, Give It To Me, that little breakdown that Jay-Z used. Give me that stuff. That's dirty
I
as
feel
hell.
like they already had done.
Yeah.
Like he was wild.
Yeah.
You knew it wasn't that positive coming from
Yeah,
him.
you're like,
Okay.
this is Rick over here in his
Right,
room.
Donna Summer having a whole orgasm on
Yeah.
like on the record, like
No, Marvin Gaye was doing that.
Yes,
Damn,
yeah.
Marvin.
Guns N' Roses.
I want you like that 1969.
So as black
D'Angelo.
artists, right? I mean, no, I producing shows and whatnot, and like, I mean, having black acts on, especially like hip hop, is the worst to try to get hip hop acts on stage, especially in this area. I mean, Pittsburgh or whatnot. Do you find that it's hard to get booked? Do people assume things because you're a black act, or do you find it harder to like, get into certain areas or whatever, or is it, just
I
the
feel
doors
like-
open?
I feel like I can penetrate, literally, not to be all dirty again.
Yeah,
And-
I had the pause. I had the pause locked and loaded. That pause was locked and loaded, bro. I was ready. I was like, oh, this smoke.
Nasty.
So I feel like I could penetrate anything. Super pause.
I cannot. Oh goodness.
Woo! Sorry, you got my eyes
Right.
over
Just
here.
no, we
wasn't
don't ever
ready.
feel that way. As not just as black artists, but as booking agents. We've been able to put together shows, be event curators as well. And not just put ourselves on, but give opportunities for other black artists to perform as well. Because they're able to like uphold the standard that we create. Like, so if you're great and you're bomb and you're black and you're really doing it, I want to book you. I want to be able to give you an opportunity to share what you give, what you contribute to Pittsburgh and to the people. And if you don't, then I don't want to work with you.
I also think too, like outside, because I don't get booked for my music because they almost never know what I sound like.
Nope.
It's simply because of how hard I work. It's just like, so I feel like you can promote. Yeah, most people promote. It's free.
Yep.
You should be promoting. If you
Yep.
don't, shame on you, right?
Yep.
But are you omnipresent? Can you play here and then be in Beaver and it still work? Can you play Mount Pleasant and then be in Wilkinsburg? Can you be here? And that's sort of like, I don't change who I am for any of it. I like to keep the business tight. I like to be like nice, be nice. Yeah. That easy part, but also like going that step above, because a lot of artists don't do that. They're like, I'm an artist, and I'm like, yeah, but are you a business person? Because the business is what's going to get your artist
That
ass
part.
booked.
That part.
So why don't you be a business person and an artist and figure that out so that you can play anywhere. I retired from bartending. I make more money playing music in Pittsburgh than I did bartending. And I bartended for 20 years, and I was banking cash. So if my 49, soon to be 50-year-old ass can do it, all these young bucks can fucking do it. But if you're not willing to get up and do it, I don't want to hear about the complaints.
We looking at you in that tank. You ain't a regular 50.
Muscles
You ain't a regular.
percolating.
You ain't regular.
she was going there.
Hey, what's up? What's going
Regular.
on, man? How you doing, man?
That's him.
Regular.
Shit.
Maybe I
You
know you
put
need to
regular
go give
50
me
to
some
shame,
cats.
goddammit. Listen.
man.
I thought, look.
I think anything's possible if you work at it and
Yeah,
just focus.
that's very true.
Yeah.
You know, and you do have to outwork other cats. I mean,
Yeah.
people want to play nice. We're like, no, you got to outwork them. Because if someone, so I get up early because I get up early.
Yep.
So by 9 a.m., if I'm 5 hours into my day, and then the average musician gets up at 10, and then they start emailing at 12, well, they're getting replies in the shittiest time of day to get a reply.
That part.
I've already said yes.
Yep.
It's simply a time management thing.
And then being able to expand. I think also an event being a booking agent as well as an event curator is something within itself different because you're creating spaces and environments for events for people to come see you and for collaboration. Like I was blessed to be able to do an event, my first event actually for my business, Phyllis May Productions, with the Pittsburgh Cultural Trust last month, called The Village. It was highlighting and celebrating the Black and brown communities here in Pittsburgh and all the contributions that it gives to the city. And they had nothing but Black and brown youth performers. Everybody was younger than me. Everybody is performing and bringing their own thing. Then we also had visual art from YMCA Lighthouse in Homewood. We had like different pieces of art created by the youth. And we didn't have an idea for them to have to get paid from it. 4 pieces were sold. That was not on purpose. I asked for every single performer to bring their best to kill it, and I'm gonna ask for 200. Cultural Trust gave 300 to all the performers. A lot of these kids were their first time performing downtown ever. You know what I mean? And now they're like, yo, Miss Quay, when you gonna do it again? I'm already working on it. Slow down. But go make sure you get yourself together. Get to work and then come back to me and we're gonna talk about it again. So it's always about raising the bar, but also creating a space so young people can, learn from you and be inspired, and they get to learn how to do this so I can move and they could do it with me.
Yeah,
or they could do
spaces.
it right, and they could do it instead of me, because that's what it should be.
I really like collaboration. I think at the end of the day, like I'd be bored if I were just playing music myself. But if I was just doing it by myself, like I love it alone, but it's so much better sharing. And then being able to share that with other people and show them, like, I loved her event because there were people that had no idea, one, how she did it, how she pulled it off. And I played it, so I was on the email threads, and I was like, man, she's killing the biz game. Thank God this is my biz partner at this point. Holy whew. Because now I don't have to go. I mean, I go hard, but it's easy to go hard when you work with someone, and then showing that to other people. So I think all this stuff is possible, but then once you learn something, don't like hoard it because you're afraid someone's going to take it. Share that shit and elevate.
Man.
Yeah, don't do
Eat
that.
shit
Like, just share
die.
it. You know what I mean?
Man.
I hate being gay. Look. You're like
This guy, we just keep going to everybody keeps going to a place.
I went to Baltimore. Sorry.
I can't stand a gatekeeper. Yeah, I mean, like it's such a an insecure situation where you feel like somebody, you see somebody doing something similar in a similar field, and you feel threatened by that. That just means that you don't have an original idea in your head, man. It doesn't mean it means that you don't have
more.
More, right? Like you've done it all. Now you're just trying to like keep anybody else from getting around it. And it's like, man, well, just fucking go move on, man.
I don't want to be a
You making it stagnant. It's real stale in this motherfucker now because you over here. Holding on, holding all the fucking the gigs and the venues or whatever, and it's just like, and that's the thing is like, it's been, I feel like this scene is getting better, and but for a long time it was like, and again by design it was a very crabs in the bucket situation with artists, and then especially black artists, because there were so few spaces where we were able to get in. That part. And a lot of times there's a certain amount of money, and white people do this. I mean, like and the folks that have the money, they do this. There's only about so much money they'll give to the black causes. And the organizations and the artists, and it's like well, we'll give it to you, but you gotta you gotta be the right Negro, and you gotta do the song and dance to get it, and and we only got it for you. I mean, it's like, all right, we can't give it to 2 of y'all now. You see what I'm saying?
Get crazy.
So, like, so it's like they do this thing, they just throw it out there, and it's like fight for it, and it's like, nah, like you said, it's creating spaces is what we need to do. It's like. It's going beyond and like taking this and saying, all right, when I get an opportunity, how do I bring more people into that?
That's the way
like,
to do it.
Like DS said, like on the podcast back in the day, he said, you kick the door in and you get as many people in as you can before it closes. And I love that, that mentality. True. And I love folks that sharing that. So shout out to what y'all are doing,
Thank you.
So how y'all feel when the next rock and soul singer get together? Y'all gonna be? Are we gonna see some internet jabs?
Nashville.
Subtweets.
When Nashville comes out,
they're gonna be called Chattanooga.
Nah, we're on our own trajectory, and I mean,
we're in a class by ourselves.
yeah, we're playing Switzerland in July. Like
Yes.
cats don't even know we're trying to do it
Last,
right
yep.
now. Yeah,
Damn.
Last week
Yeah.
of July.
yeah. We'll be
Last
the
week
only
of
artist
July.
from the United States
Yep,
represented
we'll be
too.
headlining.
We haven't even dropped a single yet, so
Yep.
I'm not really worried about anybody else right now.
Has the game? Do you need to drop a single? With
You
what
need
do?
to have music out. You need to
Okay.
have music out, yeah. But you don't got to put out a record.
No.
You just drop a single. We went and recorded 2 songs. They're almost done. We're just going to put them out.
Yep.
And then while we're working, we're going to do some more. We're going to put them out.
Yeah.
Because I know like the music industry has changed. So like when you put out, so now for you, for your model, you put out a single. How do you identify, like what genre is it, so to speak?
just
or do
is.
you all Nashville just floats across genres? Like how does that
I
work?
kind of think it does.
Yeah, we do.
And I think what takes it to the top is the way her voice fits on the music. Because there's a familiar part with it being soulful, but it's not like soul music.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? So I think like just all the elements seem to hit a wider range, and people listen to more music now than they used to. So
Definitely.
but I don't think you should ever put out music hoping that people like it. They decide. You don't get to decide.
Right.
Like the market decides what they like. So we just put it out and keep hitting, and we just keep hitting.
Yep.
You know?
And then it's just, you'll be surprised of what opportunities will end up lining up on their own. Like, when it came to Switzerland, I just got done doing, I wrote my first play for Fresh Works residency, Steel in My Veins for Kelly Strayhorn Theater. And my international tour manager hit me up about, doing a performance in Switzerland. And I'm just like, I call her back like, yes, of course. Can I bring my amazing band members? Of course, Jacquea, of course. Yeah, we want you to come. We want you to bring your whole band and do all that. So the last week of July, we're going to Switzerland. And
Man, I love the fact that
Some holes in that story.
No, that's really how it
we can go
happened.
there. We can. Right.
was really fast.
We're the international tour manager.
Right. So, all right. Okay, let's go back. Okay, all right.
just
Let's
there.
go back to
just
2019.
hanging out with my
Okay. So, all right. So back.
you know how it is.
Shut up. Anyway, so back.
I'm just sitting there
Back
like,
in-
really?
It sounds really
Okay,
official.
all right.
Do
Let's
that.
start back in 2019. Okay, back in 2019, I was working with One Hood Media, and I was asked to create a grant to write my second EP, which is called Life on Hold. Okay. And I was working with One Hood Media, working at Schumann Juvenile Detention Center, and the Carnegie Library. So all these things happening at the same time. So I got the grant, and then I started expanding. So I've been working with kids since I was a kid, and being able to work with children, which was wonderful, but I got to expand and do more things. So I created a project with Carnegie Library called Stacks, where we're able to have local artists submit their music to the library, and it gets pushed all around the country. So it gets submitted to all the libraries. So this is big for local artists because local artists really don't get a lot of people listening to their music that are from the area. So from there, Carnegie Library paid for us to go to South by Southwest, which is a media conference that is humongous in the country, right? So I'm down there, I'm talking about what we're doing. We're offering a workshop. We're meeting librarians from London, Egypt, Australia, all different types of people. And then Kimberly Ellis, Dr. Kimberly Ellis is there. She's expanding, she's talking, she's doing a workshop. She's like, okay, Jacquea, I'm very proud of you for expanding. And she's like, have this amazing opportunity to perform in Switzerland and Ghana. And I can't do it by myself. I would love for you to come. And I'm like, what?
That's how it started.
What?
Switzerland.
I don't know how I'm gonna do it. She's just like, let's not worry about this. Okay, let's go back to Pittsburgh. Let's talk about it. Let's talk to One Hood. Let's talk to all the people who helped make this possible, and let's see what happens. Found out I didn't spend all my money on my album because I kept everything in house. I worked with my executive producer, Idasa Tarek. He made all the beats for that album, so it was cheaper, and I had money left over. So the grant paid for the trip, paid for my ticket, it paid for room and board, it paid for food. I didn't have to worry about any of those things, and I did so good at these performances. They wanted me back, but then COVID happened, and then. Dr. Kimberly Ellis is just like, I'm still rooting for you. I will call you when it happens again. So she calls me again. I swear to you, April 2nd, just got done. I just got done doing my second show. I finished doing Stealing My Veins, which is a play about growing up being a black woman here in Pittsburgh, which is not an easy task. But I'm thankful that I got through it and all those things that created it. So she left a message. She's like, I really need you to call me ASAP. And she calls me and she's like, hey, Jacquea, it's great to hear from you. Congratulations on your play. I'm so proud of you. But listen, Switzerland is open again. I need you to see if you can be available the last week of July. And I'm like, okay. For what? Lausanne Afrofusion Festival. Want you again. Okay. All right.
I like how you said, wait, but for what?
To go to Switzerland?
Right. I'm like, what's going on? I wanted her to say it. I wanted her to say it. Then she said it. And then I'm like, she was like, okay. She's like, don't put the phone down and go scream yet. Hold on. She's like, okay. They want you to come back. Okay. Like, okay. And I'm like, she's like, I hope you would bring a band. And I was like, yes, I would love to bring my band members. So next call I made was to Byron. And I'm like, Byron, are you available? Yeah, sure. Let me talk to you real quick. So, I know you know about me going to Switzerland and all those type of things, but they've asked me to come back, and they would like for you to. Of course, I can't do this without you. Like,
that's kind of.
I can't do this without you.
Where I am
come
with
me. I was like, can you?
I don't know what all these extra questions are.
Right. He's just like, okay. I was like, so we got to figure. So he's like, Jacquea, I'm so excited. Thank you so much. I'm like, thank you.
What did you say? No, I'm booked. I'm
know.
booked at Deutschtown.
I don't know.
I got Deutschtown that weekend. I can't go to Switzerland.
Listen, that's exactly what it was.
I got a wedding that weekend.
See? Oh my God.
Happy hour down in the strip. You know what I mean?
Man, if my sister was getting married, I'd be like, hey, listen.
And they'd understand. You better understand.
Yeah, man.
I'll give that speech remotely.
Word.
Live from Switzerland. Congratulations.
Cheers. Yeah. So.
Y'all are funny.
Yeah, I know. See?
Yo, it's just some shit that you gotta like, wifey in labor, like, hey.
Look at this face. Look at his face. I can't.
About that baby.
Right?
Middle name is Switz.
I plan on that baby making it. He'll be there when I get back.
Right.
I'm going to need you to want that for me. You see what I'm saying? I'm going to need you to want that. When I say that, you got to be like, you know what? Yes. Yes, for me. Bring me back something. You know what I mean? No, that's amazing.
So
and I
that's where
love
we're
the
at.
fact.
Got about 10 minutes left, but go ahead, Dad. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No. So
I got a question for everybody, actually. Since it's musicians here and we're talking about music, what is like 3 bands from everybody or 3 music groups that everyone's digging right now? Not like of all time, but what are you guys listening to right now?
Fuck. I'm the least musically diverse here. That's my shit gonna be like, yo, I like Jagged Edge, Drew Hill, and Jodeci.
Hey, those are all some good ones,
Yeah, that's
especially
some good
Drew
ones.
Hill.
I'm pretty sure 2 of them are responsible for my kids.
I'm pretty sure of that too.
it's wild how Drew Hill now has like 12 members. Like, I don't know where
I'm
they
talking
picked
about
up
original
this.
Drew.
You're talking about Nokia,
before Scola.
Jazz,
That's Drew Mountain.
Before
Cisco. Like you talking about the original 4 from Baltimore,
Right.
Yeah, man.
I was there.
Oh my goodness.
that.
Okay,
It was a whole thing.
3. Okay, Earth, Wind, and Fire, The Roots. Oh man, this is so hard.
The Roots, man. I just saw, we saw The Roots.
Yeah, I
man.
took Day to that show, and it was
Oh my
fucking
goodness.
That was one of
awesome.
the
It's
best shows I've
so
ever seen in my
hard.
life. It was raining,
They
and
are
they
one of
gave
the
it.
best.
I don't know how Black Thought at his age is still able to jump around that
Tariq
stage.
Trotter is off the
And
wire.
he was able
He's
to
my
jump
favorite
around
MC.
that stage for as long as he did.
He's my
and
favorite
gave that
MC.
much energy, man. Like he was playing, like we is at sold out Madison Square Garden.
Listen,
man.
because
And
that's
it was
what
like
you're
a
supposed
Tuesday.
to do.
Yeah, I mean, this man, yo.
As opposed to, like he did Frank on Funk Master Flex, he did like a 12-minute just
yeah.
rhyme.
Oh yeah.
I listen to
Yeah.
that to this day every
Yes.
single week.
Yes.
He underrated. He done jumped on Griselda stuff. Like he got
Yeah.
range. He
Yeah.
everywhere now.
Just okay. All
But I mean, if Black Thought is on the track Like an artist, if an artist brings on Black Thought to the track, they assume that they can hang with Black Thought. You don't just willy nilly get on the track.
Yeah.
You don't just book
Don't
Black
do that.
Thought for
That's
because
embarrassing.
he will bury you, and he tries to. He
murder
tries
you.
to bury anybody he's on the track
And
with,
he can
does.
and he will.
Yeah,
And
man.
there's nothing wrong with that.
Man.
And he's
Like-
only been that dope since like what, early 90s?
Yeah, like he
now he's
Timeless.
seasoned.
I was definitely a virgin when he
Right.
came out.
he rhymes with a chip on his shoulder. Yeah. Like he's mad that he's not consistently in the top 5 mentions.
And
Yeah.
he's
Kids.
gonna kill it every single
time, man.
time. Okay, I don't like. I'm trying to. It's hard.
I'll pull a trigger on my top 3. I'll say right now, Jay Dilla. Listen to a lot of just Dilla beats. I'm gonna connect that to D'Angelo because I'm on a D'Angelo kick right now, which is
Gosh,
kind
I
of
love D'Angelo.
Jay
That's weird
Dilla-esque.
now, but I fuck with him.
Right.
Speaking of the roots, Questlove recorded the first album with D'Angelo.
Oh, right. That is
So
right.
people don't understand how many records Quest is actually
He's
on.
so amazing.
Like if you follow just look up the Questlove discography. It'll blow your mind.
It really
D'Angelo
is.
Voodoo. He all the neo soul stuff he played on all.
Yes,
those
he
records.
has.
But then
Yes,
he played on
has.
more stuff than what people realize.
Yep,
or
that's
he,
very
he
true.
like mixed them or something. So he'd been rich long before Jimmy
Yeah.
Fallon.
And
But
he-
see my last one.
I don't even know.
Aretha.
Oh,
I've been on Aretha lately, just Aretha on vinyl. Just something about those records, because records were made to be heard a certain way because of the whole fidelity thing. I learned an interesting fact during 2020. I don't know if people know this. I'm a record collector.
Yes, he is.
Do you know that the best part of the album is in the middle?
Yep. Yep.
Sonically, it sounds the best.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I got real nasty when you.
Nasty.
I'm like, duh.
and there's a.
I'm like, duh.
I was like, why'd he pause like that?
There's a.
I'm like, in the middle.
Nasty
middle.
Nash.
Oh, that's in the middle.
Nasty Nash with another.
It's very true. So make sure you put the needle in the middle so you know exactly where the good stuff's at.
There you go. Look.
I'm just saying. He wasn't Nasty Nash for no reason. All the best music is talking about fucking. Because we all trying to do it.
Oh my God. I didn't know my Sunday was going to be so debauchery.
I'm just saying, ain't nobody trying to figure out what the Mormons listening to.
Right. That's
fucking
right.
over here.
That's right. That's right.
know what
Look,
you
that's
doing.
what are you doing?
Well, those are my 3. I don't got no more. Y'all-
Shoot. Oh my goodness. Okay. I'm like Earth, Wind, and Fire, The Roots. It's so hard.
What's the last thing you listened when you on your way in?
Oh my goodness.
said
I
she
was
was on
listening
a
to
Dilla.
Dilla.
Dilla,
A lot of Dilla. Dilla, Pharoah Monch. I'm just going back
love
into
Pharoah.
my like serious like backpack hip hop. Like in the crates.
Yeah, I gotta go
Bars.
into those
Rappers.
Yeah, because I want to hear bars. I mean, that's how I'm just like I know I'm
bars.
young, but I'm old at the same time because that beat, that boom bap come through. I'm like,
There is a new group, and I can't remember their name, that kind of has that old backpacker, like really just lyrics, you know, that's like hitting right now, that's catching on. I'll send it to you.
okay, all right, bet.
They're from Philly. They're stupid.
Okay, all right.
I was like,
bet.
oh, I like that energy.
I mean, Joey Badass is off the chain too.
Love Joey Badass.
Yeah.
Joey Badass is like,
Man. Yeah.
My 3 right now would be Hiatus Coyote,
yes,
They're one of my
fuck
favorite
with
groups
them.
of all time.
Yes.
Jamiroquai.
They talk about
right
drugs,
now.
don't they?
Jamiroquai for sure, and what else have I been listening? Meshuggah probably, like the heaviest thing ever.
I love Meshuggah.
So heavy, yeah.
Putting me to shame.
I mean, my
Meshuggah's an acquired taste. You got.
Hey, what is
you
it?
gotta
Pour some
graduate.
sugar on me?
There ain't no
Fucking with that.
There ain't no sugar in Meshuggah.
no, it's not the same. Look, not the
It
same.
ain't booger sugar. Okay.
Oh my God.
No booger sugar.
Okay, what's your 3?
I'm gonna just go with what I've just like really recently. So the 3 that I've just been really on, Pusha dropped, and that album is just
Is that
like,
crazy?
It's just like delicious. The bars and then the production, like the fact that he like pitted.
Wasn't it a Kanye
It was a
versus
Kanye,
Pharrell?
yeah.
was.
And he actually put out 3 versions. He put out the regular version, and then he put out the Kanye versus Pharrell with the he put out 2 Kanye versus Pharrell, and then Pharrell versus
I
Kanye,
have to
where
listen.
he puts all the Kanye tracks up first, and then on the
I
other
didn't
one he
realize
puts all
this
the
was
Pharrell's up first.
a fluid like album. Like,
Ooh,
it
I
seemed-
I gotta look.
need
Yeah,
that
like
in my
it's
life.
but like
Gotta
it's
listen.
like it's probably his for me it's my favorite. Like people were talking about Daytona and My Name Is My Name or whatever. Yeah, I mean like, but for me me, like I for me, this is just a complete album. Like you got some of the best like production on it. His bars are ridiculous, and like it just he isn't just like Pusha as a coke rapper, which he is a hell of a coke rapper.
That's true.
But he also has some shit that you could put on, and like somebody else could bop to it, right?
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
and that's for a while that was hard to do.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So like. That for me, so I've been heavy into that, and then I go back into crates. Anytime somebody comes with something new, I go back into their crates or whatever. So I've been heavy with the Pusha T. Action Bronson drop. So just like I mean, so like I was listening to that, I mean, that Crocodile, that Crocodilo Turbo, but then I go back to the Only for Dolphins. I've been like I was pulling up with the Only for Dolphins. I mean, like that shit is just so smooth. But then like I found this dude, Joey Perp.
I've been hearing that.
Yo, this dude, he got this. So he got an album, Quarter Thing, that came out in like 2018, I want to say, or 2020, and then he has a album before that is I Drops or whatever. But he's in that. He's a Chicago rapper. He's in that like. Chance Gang and whatever, Chance and Vince, Vince Staples. Vic Mensa or whatever. I mean, and them guys or whatever. But like. He just like so I heard a track with him and RZA. RZA produced it. And it just bars, just like he just was giving it, and like RZA came in, he did the intro, and then he just let young dude just get on there with it. And I was just like, who the fuck is this? You know what I mean? And so I went back and I just listened because I'm an albums dude, right? Yeah. Like I like a track, I the singles.
I like the whole thing.
I need to hear a whole thing. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna keep listening to your single or whatever. If you can't give me a whole album, then fuck you. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I need a whole thing. And like I went back and like he only got 3 albums out. He's got like the 2 that he got, and then he's got one that's with a producer, and I love those albums where they pick one producer and they do the whole, you know what I mean, like with a Freddie Gibbs and the Alchemist, you know what I mean, type thing or whatever.
Freddie.
So he's got one of those albums or whatever, and like the dude is, I mean, he's nice. He ain't dropped anything for like about 4 years now, which is kind of crazy, but nice, man. He's good. I mean, bars, but all of them are bars. You know what I mean? Like just like very bar heavy right now.
I'm cool with that.
Like so.
You said Jodeci, Drew Hill.
Well, when he said bands.
All right, what you got?
Oh yeah, bands. Oh, I ain't even thinking bands.
You
Yeah,
said
they
Jodeci,
was.
said bands, so now I'm like,
Well, those are
Are we
groups.
just talking about
It's
just
up to
music
you.
I
It's
like?
up to you.
Well, he said bands. Y'all
It's
was
all
going
music now.
producers.
What-
I'm
It's
like,
all
I'm not
music.
musicians.
It could be artists. It could be whatever you want.
All right, so I'll take a little bit of each of y'all. So like the thing I've been listening to lately, because those 3 groups that I said, those are like
Oh, they're bomb.
them and I throw 112 in there too. Like them.
Oh,
so
my goodness.
so I really love R&B though.
Of course.
But as far as with rap, lately I've been listening to, and it's my favorite Jay album, American Gangster. A lot
love
of
that
people
record.
don't.
Yo, that album
record's
is
fire.
lit.
A lot of people don't have it as their favorite
That
Jay
is one
album,
of my
but that's
favorites.
like I don't know if it's the best Jay album, but
But
It's
it
just-
rocks.
it's a
It
really good-
knocks.
it's a
definitely
damn
my
good one.
favorite. And
Yeah,
that
it's
summer
versatile.
was crazy. So like it's funny because I guess my affinity to certain shit is just like where I was in life, and
Right.
like
Me too.
Like for example, Wayne.
Listen,
Wayne's got a run. He's got a couple runs, but I would
Carter
say
3.
the Carter 2 was 05.
It
And
was.
I had just crossed the fraternity. I was out here. So Wayne, one of my favorites, and I've been listening to a whole lot of Griselda. I like how
They're dope.
I like they're all different.
Yeah.
Like you got Westside, who's like the engineer of everything. He's
Yeah.
the engineer of all of it. And I think he makes the best albums.
Yeah.
Benny makes the best bar heavy songs. Like there's still music and song. And Conway
I love
it's
it.
all bars.
I love it.
It's
Just love
bar,
it.
bar,
Yeah.
bar,
Just
bar.
break it
He'll
down.
bar you down. And then obviously, and we gotta give love to the new Kendrick, because that shit is a
the
That's
Oh, my
crazy.
goodness.
we can't have this conversation
Of
in May
course.
2022 and not say it. God,
I haven't even absorbed it yet.
I'm glad you came around to Kendrick. You was not always a Kendrick.
were not.
savvy,
I was not
but-
always a Kendrick fan. Here's what I'll say about Kendrick.
Okay.
All right, because we're gonna do a whole nother podcast.
You gotta
Yo,
talk about
Bill,
Kendrick. Just
Buzzy's
like
like,
Kendrick.
me
Never
and
said
Ed- me
it
and
was
Ed
me, him,
been
and
going
Lex,
at it
and
for
me, him, and
years.
Norlex. It was never that he couldn't rap.
Right.
It's just sometimes
Right.
I just want to hear you rap.
Yeah.
I don't want to be doing all the things. I just want to hear you rap.
Right.
But this album with the production and like how
Yeah.
the songs and the story and all it went through, I was like, all right.
Yeah.
And just the vulnerability, the times.
He's an artist.
I
He's
give
a
it
true
to him.
artist,
I
man.
can't be mad at him. I can't hate
And
on
he's
him at all.
grown
I can't hate
so
on him at all.
much from ADHD to this.
Yeah, I like what I'm gonna say is, which is kind of like it's a 180, right? Because as I was listening to that album, and I thought it was a masterpiece. He grew, like I thought, like the subjects that are or whatever. But I felt what you had said years ago when you were like, it's like homework, man. Like it's like it's not a summer bopper,
No,
right? I mean,
it isn't a
I love
summer
how, like
bopper.
this is the first summer,
This is
like
a
this is like the
listening.
first summer since the pandemic where like I'm like.
We
like,
outside.
We outside.
Right.
Windows down.
That's
I'm
right.
trying to bump something. I pulled up with that one track. We
Cry Together?
We Cry Together. I pulled up with the
Yeah, you
track with
can't
the
do
windows
that.
down, and
Nah.
that shit was like blaring. I pulled up to the next day, screaming at each other, and like motherfuckers looking at me like, "Yo, what the fuck is going on?" Like, that's not a. You can't roll up. Yeah, I mean, you not. So like, I gotta listen to that in a certain mindset. Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
so
It's art.
It's
It's like-
it's art. So it's deep. So I had to listen
so
to it.
art.
Yeah.
It's so
That's what it
dense. So I had to listen to it. Like I've already listened to it like a dozen plus times. Right?
Yeah.
Because you got to in order to
I'm
get
only
through
2
some of
in,
those.
so
those
I need
tracks.
the time for it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you
It's
gotta
a
make time
record.
for it. Whatever.
You
It
got to
took
be
me a
like
while.
ready for that type
But,
of listen.
yeah, but you're not. But it's not just a throw it on and just vibe to it type
Nah.
record. Yeah, I mean, like some of his other works
Yeah,
and
To
whatnot.
Pimp a
So,
Butterfly, Damn.
Yeah, yeah.
Good Kid, Mad City. Those are the albums that you like bop.
yeah, you bop. You know what I
Serious
mean? Like,
summer
yeah,
bop.
but this is more of an intense dip. But I also want to mention Lakele 47. Lakele 47. She just dropped an album. I've been trying to book her. She's elusive.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, but like
Yes,
she is. Fucking amazing, man.
She really
like,
is.
Yeah, she just like I've been bumping that a lot like recently. She's a little well known, like a lesser known. You know what I mean when I talk about her, but her range and her bars
Crazy.
and her like beat selection,
Crazy.
man.
Crazy.
Y'all got me all geeked up on music right now.
I'm
man.
saying, and that's
Now I gotta
good.
go back in the crates.
Right.
Get in my old school because I'm
I know what I'm doing
I'm a
tonight.
Rolls Royce type of guy. Like I fuck with like I will turn on Rolls Royce radio on whatever the streaming shit and it just go through and that's my shit. But now I'm like I need to go sit in that bag for a
Yeah.
while since I done sat with y'all.
Of course.
I sat with some get in that bag,
know what
find
I
me
mean?
some Bessies and
Or you
Mahalias.
just listen to different albums. Like, what was an album by Al Green that I absolutely love? Love is a Beautiful Thing, and it's an album,
my daughter to
1969. He has all white background green and right. Oh Lord, call me
I used to put
1969.
my daughter to sleep to that song. It worked. It just all right. Sign us off, damn it. So I can go do some research. Next time we interview y'all, I'm gonna be naming shit. I'll be naming shit y'all never heard of. Like, yo, I got this Afro funk band from Australia. Beats is tight.
Yeah, I mean, I love streaming services because I've been getting into a lot of like old like Afro jazz, like
Yes.
going back like Femi Kuti, Fela
Yes,
Kuti,
Fela,
you know what I mean?
Fela.
Like,
Oh, man.
like all of those like old like it's just like because you can like you can now you ain't gotta like
Go
whatever.
to the
so.
genre, pick a song, and then just let it
let it
continue
go.
to go.
Yeah,
And
Wiz
you like,
Kid.
ooh,
man, you be finding
Right,
shit.
right.
You
know what I
be
mean?
finding. That's how I actually had heard
Coffee.
Joey Perp. I forget what I was listening to, and it just kept going.
Yep.
And you just find like all of a sudden you be just riding or whatever. You ain't paying no attention.
song is
And you
this?
be like,
Right.
what the fuck?
It was
a
like Vince
song.
Staples radio, and then like I was like, yo, what the fuck is this?
You know it's good when your voice goes up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, what is this? I gotta find it.
For folks that don't know, hot off of their Switzerland appearance, Nashville will be headlining Barrel and Flow.
We're so excited.
Hell yeah.
They'll be headlining Barrel and Flow. If you don't know, it's Barrel and Flow. BarrelAndFlow.com. We got 75 brewers, 30 of which are black owned. We got 75 vendors, 30 food vendors, 30 goods and service vendors, 45 nonprofits. We got 2 music stages, a DJ stage and a live music stage. Again, headlined by none other than Nashville off their hot Swiss appearance. You know what I
Fresh
mean?
off the passport stamps.
Right?
Their new single, Passport Stamps. Gave it to y'all.
Yeah, I mean,
Y'all can have that. I ain't mad at you.
the album is called Check Your Pockets because we took your song. You know what I mean? But no, I mean, like, so check us out. I mean, and that's August 13th. down at Strip District in the Stacks at Three Crossings, man. I mean, it's going to be a dope event. But other than that, where else can they find you?
ByronNashMusic.com, and just check us out on all the platforms, because that's where we go. Jacquea is my social media buddy. Like, it's nice to work with somebody who actually promotes, like really promotes. So follow her, follow me, Nashville. It's easy to find.
Yeah, my name is Jacquea, man. That's JACQUEAMAE. And Fearless Made Productions, and that's pretty much it. Thank y'all so much for having us.
Thank you, guys.
Where can we get the fans?
Oh,
Church or Africa?
No, look,
Ghana.
actually,
You
I
gotta
got
go
this from
Ghana.
West Africa. I got this from
See?
Ghana.
Told
but you can shut up. But you can pick this up at Jamil's Global Village in East Liberty, Ujima Collective.
Are they still
on Center
there?
Avenue. Yep,
'Cause I
they're
know
still
it was-
there.
okay,
yep,
good.
Ujima Collective on Center Avenue on the hill.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
I'm happy,
you know what I'm saying?
I'm happy to hear they held that down, because I know it got dicey for a second.
I know, but I mean, I go there pretty much almost every week, you know, and I know them by name. I mean, I've known them since I was like in high school, so.
Look, we want to thank y'all for
Thank
you
you.
for bringing us back out.
Oh,
thank you for
Y'all,
bringing us out.
y'all released us. You know what I mean? We back in these
Listen.
streets.
Like, man,
I was teetering on. I didn't miss this shit till I did this episode. I ain't even gonna front. Having Sundays to relax was cool.
goodness.
It was cool. And I was like, I was talking to Buzzy before. I was like, I don't even want to be here.
Yeah, like
I wanna go home.
we was gonna come back last week, and I was like, no, we need it next week. Let me
myself
one more
together.
week.
Right. Self-care is real. You need it now.
Right? You know what I mean?
Nah, but this has been a wonderful experience. Again, I just want to commend you for not just expanding your reach and whatnot, but just educating yourselves on your craft, right? Like, if you haven't taken anything from this episode, I mean, these folks, they study music. Like, I feel like I would say I love music, or I'm into music, but I'm listening to two genres. You know what I mean? Like, it's so much shit out there. It's so much out there, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, shit. I really got to go do some research, man. So we wish y'all all the success in the world.
Thank
We
you
know
so
y'all
much.
gonna get there. I got a free tank, so I was suns out, guns out. You know, I've been
Yeah.
in
Watch
that
out.
thing.
Yeah, muscles
Been
are
in that
percolating
thing where
and
I'm
shit.
coming out here looking
What?
big as Byron. Yeah, hashtag big as Byron.
Yeah, I mean, that should
That'll be my new
joke.
fitness company.
They let the people know where they can find us if they haven't found us, even though they already listening to
Hey,
us.
man, if you're looking for us, you can find us on epicastnetwork.com/partnerspod. You find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Libsyn, Google Play, and Spotify at Drinking Partners. And you can find us on IG, Twitter, and Facebook at PartnerSpod. Also, August 13th, headlined by Nashville. You can find us down in the Strip District, the Stacks of Three Crossings, at Barrel and Flow, barrelandflow.com.
Yeah, man. Thank Nashville
guys.
for coming out. Partners Pod
Peace.
back on the
Proud of
map.
you. Thank you
As
so
always,
much.
Drinking Partners is the crew. Epicast is the family, and we is out.